The most feared individual in any fight is not the one with the giant muscles, nor the one who makes the most noise. It's the one who remains absolutely silent. Sounds strange, right? But this revelation changed the life of a legendary warrior forever, and it's about to revolutionize yours too. I'll tell you about Miyamoto Musashi, the most lethal samurai Japan has ever known. He never lost a single battle. There were more than 60 deadly battles. 60 clashes where defeat meant instant death. But listen, Musashi's secret was not in the speed of his blade or the strength of his blows. It was in something much more devastating. His mental control was so advanced that rivals would panic before they even made their first move. While his enemies were tearing themselves apart with anxiety and fury, Musashi maintained a deadly serenity. And here's the amazing part. These same mental strategies he mastered in bloody duels work perfectly in the struggles of modern life. Whether it's facing an authoritarian boss, resolving family disputes, or dealing with provocations on social media. The truth is simple. Whoever controls the mind controls the outcome. You will now discover the 4 mental secrets that Musashi developed to never lose control, even when everything was falling apart around him. Now tell me one thing. When someone yells at you or challenges you aggressively, what happens inside your body? Your muscles tense, your heart races, anger starts to rise, and before you know it, you are completely caught up in the emotional storm. This is the trap that Musashi understood better than anyone. He knew that when you allow yourself to be consumed by the emotions of the moment, you lose 2 crucial things: control of the situation and, more importantly, control of yourself. So Musashi's first principle for winning any confrontation has nothing to do with strength or skill. It's about something deeper: emotional distance. But what the heck is emotional distance? It's the ability to separate yourself from what you're feeling, to observe your internal reactions without getting carried away by them. Musashi described it as watching a confrontation from above, as if it were a cloud passing through the sky. He did not become the anger or fear. He simply saw these emotions arising and let them pass. It is this simple act of not identifying with the emotion that changes absolutely everything. It sounds simple, but most of us fall into the same trap every day. When someone insults you, what do you say? I am angry. Or worse yet, I am the anger. You let yourself be consumed by it, and it ends up guiding your words, your actions, your decisions. You become a puppet of your own emotions. Musashi took a completely different approach. He acknowledged his anger, but he did not let it overwhelm him. He simply said, I am feeling angry right now. This small difference in language creates a space between you and the emotion. And it is in this space that your power of choice resides. And how can you start applying this today? When you feel strong emotions during any kind of confrontation, even a simple conversation, do a mental exercise. Just pause for a moment and say to yourself, I notice that I am feeling angry, or I notice that I am feeling frustrated. This simple act of labeling your emotion creates a space between you and it. And over time, that space will expand, giving you more control. The secret is not to deny or suppress what you feel, but to not be controlled by it. When you distance yourself emotionally from the confrontation, the storm inside you begins to calm. And that is when you begin to have true power over the situation. Most people go into a confrontation without knowing what to expect. They react on the spur of the moment, trying to protect themselves in the heat of the moment. Musashi did the opposite. He believed that to stay calm, you need to know what's coming before it happens. This is the second principle, anticipatory awareness. Musashi called this foreknowledge. the ability to perceive an opponent's moves before he even makes them. It's not about reading minds, it's about recognizing patterns. Because as complex as we are, human beings react in predictable ways when under pressure. Anger follows repeated paths. Fear limits choices. Impatience reveals weaknesses. Before his duels, Musashi studied his opponents. He observed how they moved, how they reacted to stress, which blows they preferred. He left nothing to chance. In his most famous duel against Sasaki Kojiro, Musashi knew that Kojiro was vain, impatient, and used an extremely long sword. So he arrived late on purpose, increasing his opponent's irritation, and carved his own wooden sword on the way, slightly longer than Kojiro's. He won before he even fought, because he already knew what to expect. And how can you apply this to your life? Simple. Before you enter into a difficult conversation, stop for 30 seconds and ask yourself 3 questions. What is this person's likely emotional state? What does she really want from this interaction? What are the 3 most likely reactions she might have? Answering these questions prepares your brain for what's coming. This reduces the impact of emotional surprise, which is what often throws us off balance. When you anticipate, your body doesn't go into panic mode. Instead, it prepares itself with focus and clarity. This is something even FBI hostage negotiators do. According to a behavioral psychologist with 20 years of crisis negotiation experience, before any high-stakes conversation, we assess the person's emotional profile, review past behaviors, and map out possible avenues for dialogue. A Stanford University researcher who studies patterns of human behavior explains, when we map out someone's likely emotional reactions, our brains prepare in a completely different way. Surprise is what triggers panic. This allows them to remain calm even in the most explosive situations, while everyone around them is on the verge of collapse. Anticipating is not about controlling others. It is about knowing the territory before you step into it. The more you understand people's emotional patterns, the less you will be surprised, and the more you will remain calm. And this calm, in a chaotic world, is one of the greatest forms of power. Musashi knew that breathing was the bridge between the body and the mind. He observed that when his opponents felt fear or anger, the first thing that changed was the rhythm of their breathing. It became fast, short, and uneven. And this respiratory disorder was the harbinger of mental imbalance. So the third principle of his system is strategic breathing. During battles, Musashi not only controlled his movements, but also every breath he took. He understood that whoever controls his breathing controls his emotional state. This wasn't a technicality, it was a weapon. In his training, he practiced strikes while maintaining deep, rhythmic breathing. Because when the body breathes calmly, the mind remains clear, even in the midst of chaos. And this isn't just ancient philosophy. Modern science proves it. When you breathe slowly and in a controlled manner, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the same system responsible for calming the body and restoring balance. According to a neuroscientist with 15 years of research in behavioral neuroscience, controlled breathing is literally a biological switch. You can go from high alert to calm in a matter of seconds. Rapid breathing triggers fight or flight mode, flooding the brain with stress hormones that cloud reasoning. Musashi developed a simple but powerful technique. Before a decisive moment, he would take a single conscious breath. He took a deep breath through his nose, counting to 4. I held it briefly. Then he exhaled through his mouth, counting to 6. This simple cycle put his body and mind in tune, creating a moment of calm within the storm. You can use this exact technique today. in a tense meeting, in an argument with a loved one, or before delivering difficult news. Just one strategic breath. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold briefly. Exhale through your mouth for 6 seconds. Even just one cycle is enough to reduce tension and clear your thoughts. Repeat 2 or 3 times, and you will see the effect spread throughout your body. Breathing like this is like hitting an internal reset button. It's a reminder that no matter how hectic the world around you may be, you have the power to create peace within yourself. For Musashi, this calm was the foundation of victory. For us today, it is the foundation of a more lucid, more centered, and more powerful life. Now imagine being in the middle of an intense confrontation. Emotions are running high. Words are being said sharply. Tension is in the air. Most people, in this scenario, react automatically. They want to win the argument, prove a point, hurt someone back. But Musashi did it differently. He didn't fight to overcome his ego. He fought with a clear purpose. And that's what makes the 4th principle so powerful. Purposeful action. Musashi believed that acting without a defined objective was the same as fighting blindly. His opponents often entered duels filled with anger, the need to show strength, and the fear of losing. Musashi had a specific focus. He knew exactly what he wanted with every move, every decision. He wrote, "The warrior must not intend to attack first, but rather remain focused on his greater objective." This clarity of purpose is what kept Musashi from being swept away by the emotional storm. And in modern confrontations, this is even more necessary. How many arguments have you experienced that started with a real reason, but soon got lost in accusations, past resentments, and accumulated hurts? This happens when no one remembers the reason for the conversation anymore. When the purpose is lost, everything becomes chaos. The solution lies in a simple practice that comes straight from Musashi's philosophy. Before you enter into any conflict, whether it's a difficult conversation, a tense meeting, or even a sensitive message, stop for a moment and ask yourself, what is my real goal here? Answer with a single sentence, something direct, clear, that serves as an emotional anchor. It could be, I want to resolve this misunderstanding without causing more pain. I want to defend my point without disrespecting anyone. I want to protect my peace. During the confrontation, when emotions start to rise, repeat this purpose mentally. This keeps you grounded and prevents you from acting on impulse. Your words and actions begin to serve your purpose, not your wounded ego. But here's something that will surprise you. Having a clear purpose doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. In fact, it means that your emotions start working for something bigger, not against you. This focus turns any confrontation into something that can build, rather than just destroy. Musashi understood this profoundly. He was not calm because he was insensitive. He was calm because he had clarity. And that clarity came from purpose. When you know what you're fighting for, you choose when to fight. And more importantly, you choose when not to fight. True power is not in winning confrontations. It is in transcending them. Musashi discovered this centuries ago, that mastery in the art of combat was not about defeating another, but about mastering oneself. Its 4 principles, emotional distance, anticipatory awareness, strategic breathing, and purposeful action, are not just battle tactics. They are pathways to a more conscious, centered, and free life. Ultimately, what he taught us goes beyond the sword, conflict, or victory. It is a philosophy of life based on not clinging to fleeting emotions, on seeing the world clearly and acting with intention. It is the same teaching present in Buddhism, in the idea of non-identification with the ego, and in Taoism, with the concept of Wu Wei, the effortless action that flows with the natural rhythm of life. Today, we live surrounded by conflicts, social networks, traffic, politics, relationships. Everything seems to want to provoke an immediate reaction. But the truly powerful person in modern times is not the one who shouts the loudest, nor the one who hits the hardest. He is the one who remains calm while everyone else is losing control. He is the one who chooses wisely where it is worth expending his energy and where silence is the noblest response. When you begin to master these principles, you discover something curious. Many conflicts simply disappear because they only existed within you. And by transforming yourself, you change the nature of the world around you. Just like Musashi, you stop being just someone who faces battles and become someone who transcends them. This is the way, not of brute force, but of inner strength. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to take a deep breath and remember, true control does not come from force, but from awareness. And you, are you ready for this journey? Now tell me one thing. When someone yells at you or challenges you aggressively, what happens inside your body? Your muscles tense, your heart races, anger starts to rise, and before you know it, you are completely caught up in the emotional storm. This is the trap that Musashi understood better than anyone. He knew that when you allow yourself to be consumed by the emotions of the moment, you lose two crucial things: control of the situation, and, more importantly, control of yourself. So Musashi's first principle for winning any confrontation has nothing to do with strength or skill. It's about something deeper: emotional distance. But what the heck is emotional distance? It's the ability to separate yourself from what you're feeling, to observe your internal reactions without getting carried away by them. Musashi described it as watching a confrontation from above, as if it were a cloud passing through the sky. He did not become the anger or fear. He simply saw these emotions arising and let them pass. It is this simple act of not identifying with the emotion that changes absolutely everything. It sounds simple, but most of us fall into the same trap every day. When someone insults you, what do you say? I am angry. Or worse yet, I am the anger. You let yourself be consumed by it, and it ends up guiding your words, your actions, your decisions. You become a puppet of your own emotions. Musashi took a completely different approach. He acknowledged his anger, but he did not let it overwhelm him. He simply said, I am feeling angry right now. This small difference in language creates a space between you and the emotion. And it is in this space that your power of choice resides.